So we've got ourselves another set of SBCs, we've had a few players added and a couple more icons, which I really didn't expect to get, to be honest. So I thought, you know what, we'll start off with the icons because they are slowly losing more and more relevancy, bar from the top ones. Because of the triple player style pluses, the higher ratings, it's very hard to keep up with the team of the seasons. Which we knew from the very start anyway, that is what happens. You have a 6 to 7 week period where there is no icons, there's no new heroes, and team of the seasons are what really take the focus, which is good. But the way they're doing icons and heroes, they tend to be the better cards nowadays. So if we have a look through what we've got already, we have still got the Jarzinho. I think the only big SBC to have vanished at the moment is going to be Janola from the hero side. Icon-wise, obviously Jarzinho's got 2 days, 4 days for Yashin, 6 days for Torres, 9, 10, 11, 16, and as you can see, we just keep going up basically. You've got all the way up, I'd say, probably like a month Cantona goes, and then, I suppose then you'll have another week. So it is just generically going through a cycle now. We kind of get quite a few. Obviously, the past couple of weeks, we've had Matthias, we've had Lam, we've had Raul. Some very good players, and I am expecting a Cruyff, an R9, another Hullet, someone on that sort of level to really come out very, very soon, which you're going to need a lot of coins for. Are you looking for coins to improve your team? Then you need to head over to lootbar.gg, the most reliable and the best coin service you can find. Also, they have incredible 24-hour manual customer service that you physically cannot find anywhere else. But before finishing on lootbar.gg, make sure you are using JT11 to get 8% off coupon. Once you've gone through the payment, you'll be able to get your coins within the next 24 hours. Absolutely guaranteed. Also, with the code, you'll be able to get 5% more coins on every transaction. Make sure you do click the link either in the description or down in the comment section below. So in terms of pricing, what are we looking at here? Because we've got the likes of Jarzinho, phenomenal player, very, very good when he came out. But we're talking about Centurions now, and even though, yes, still got the Rapid Plus, a 1 playstyle plus, a 90 rated, I'm sorry, but I'm not putting 1.2 mil in great value anymore. If anything, I would say personally, for someone like him, it's just not worth it now. And to be honest, Torres can go in there as well. Yashin's a different sort of beast because he's a very good centre-back, and even with kind of the playstyle pluses that he did possess, he was a very good meta card, but I probably wouldn't even say he's necessarily in a must-complete. Even a good value, I'd still be very tempted to not put him in there, and that it depends on what you're looking at. But when we look at Kunate, we look at Rio, we even look at someone like Hanko, I would much prefer them at this moment in time than a Yashin. So to save myself $1 million, I'm gonna have to go with it. It's just now the icons are starting to go kind of worse and worse for these sort of types. Obviously the winter wildcards, the Centurions, they were a long time ago. When it comes to the team of the year and onwards, at least they had the double, so you had something with them. When we look at the next set, we've obviously got some Ultimate Birthday and also Ultimate Birthday and Future Stars in there. Socrates, fantastic. Roberto Carlos, unfortunately, just looks even worse, the fact that he's got a new card out. I really don't get why they did that in general, but when we look at the difference, you got 659k on the market, 1.2 mil SBC. That's fair enough because the market can crash. It's not the bad thing, but when you can get the 93 for better value, it's when you've really got to ask the question. So if I'm going to be really brutal with this, I'd go with Roberto Carlos to say it's not worth it. And again, he's a very good card. I'm not saying any of these cards are bad in any way. I'm purely looking on the perspective of should you complete it? Because that's really what you want to know. If I was doing a tier list for them, then I'll add them in. I'll go with the rating. But this is based on if you should actually complete it. If we finish off the rest of the icons then, I think Raul is not a bad card, to be honest. 683,000. I really like him this year. I think he's an absolute baller in the game. I wouldn't quite go must complete. I don't even know if there is a must complete in here, to be honest, because we look at Lam, decent value, 358, it's not going to touch, it's more SBC fodder than anything, but a very good card nonetheless. Matthias, to be honest, at 1.7, with how good Matthias is, he is the same as Hullet. And you'd argue with Rio as well, to be fair to him. That's the bit that I'm struggling with, but Rio, at 2 million coins of fodder, That's the bit where I'm really struggling, because the card is like top 5, top 10, whatever you want. He is up there with the best of them in centre-backs, but the SBC value is very, very high. I don't know, what is he coming in at? 1.7. How much did he drop? So he was, when was that? That's March 14th. Okay, that was a while back. So he was up at 4.7 mil. Then he's kind of slowly come down. Is that when the SBC must come out somewhere around about here? So he was about 2 million. And then since, okay, that might have been the SBC there. That big drop from 1.8 to 163. So he was at about 1.8. So in terms of the SBC price, it probably is about right, to be honest. Now, if we was to look at somebody like, what's Upamecano at? He's at 918. What about Virgil? Just because you kind of got to get the grips of these pricings. Obviously, Virgil's going to be the top of the top category there. Saliba coming in at 700, 7.2 for Van Dijk. That's going to be the hard comparison, because in terms of the actual pricing of him, it's really not terrible, because obviously, if we look at it from an EA point, they weren't going to make him like 1.4 mil worth of an SBC if he was coming in at 1.8. They were always going to have to go higher, because that is the whole point of SBCs most of the time. So they can't judge a fall off, because if they made him 1 million coins, he would drop to 1 million coins. So that's the bit that you kind of can't just assume. So I'm gonna say good value, not mainly for the card. Like, if you do the card, it's fantastic, but mainly for it. I might even be as cheeky to say Matthias might be a must complete. In terms of the centre mid, if you've ever used him, he's brilliant. He's such a good card, as you can imagine. Lahm himself is going to go in good value. I think he is very, very good in terms of the pricing. 358, I'm never going to complain at that at all. We then got Peter Cech at 422. We've got Zambrotta at 660. Ronaldinho at 1.7. 770 for Essien. We've got 1.1 for Cantona, 413 for Armand Beckham, 1.5 for Ham, and 355 for Hadji, with 1.2. Oh my god, how many more we got left? Okay, yeah, 580 for Makalele and 1.2 for Ribery. So, straight off the bat, Cantona can go there. I'm going to go Cech, Zambrotta, Beckham, Essien, Makalele, and Hadji in that role. Ribery, I'm going to go down one. See, none of them are SBC fodder, because you just wouldn't put 800k worth of fodder in to get a card that you just got to put in an SBC. You might as well do the encore player picks to get fodder that way. Ham, I think he's good, but I don't know if she's a must complete. Ronaldinho, I think you could argue between not worth it and worth it. Again, he's one of them cards. I personally love him as a nostalgic vibe. He was always going to be a must complete for me, regardless of the version. If it was the Thunderstruck, happy days. If it's not, I'll absolutely do him anyway. I got him done first day. I wanted a Ronaldinho in the club, no matter which one it was. Socrates is going to be the same. Now, I do think that is a lot in the good value rather than the great. I think if I was to point out some good values, Ferdinand, I'd then say Essien, potentially Ham, Ronaldinho, Socrates. Great values would be Hadji, Makalele, Beckham, Zambrotta, Cech, Lahm, and Raul. To be honest, Raul could potentially go one up, because I think the card is absolutely fantastic. If you've ever used him this year, he has been so much better. Then we have got the normal players. So we've got quite a few of the kind of non-team of the season still. As you can see, we've got Vinny, Elwaran, Nakata, Marquez, Muniz. I think they're finishing soon. Bastoni and Giriassi, as well as then the Ligue 1 player. So we've got a few that are kind of just trailing across now. We've got 12 days, 17 days, 5, 6, and Vinny is now expired, apparently. Okay, so, I mean, you can't complete him then. So he's going to go in the not worth, because you can't physically do him. Now, if I was looking at the values, got 520 for Alwaran. Marquez is an absolute must. A brilliant card. Alwaran would go in the great value. Nakata nowadays, to be honest, I don't really see him going into much. He's 68,000 for a 90. I'd probably just put him in SBC fodder now. He's not really going to go anywhere else. And to be honest, I'd probably say the same for the player of the months. they're not going in anything. You could hold on for an evolution, but Bastoni more than likely is getting a team of the season. We know Muniz isn't. Guriassi has got one, and plus we have got so many evolutions that go from just a base card all the way up because they add the full triple playstyle plus. It's just the way it is at the minute. And then we've got some of the team of the seasons left. So we have lost like the Havertz. I think live, not live. So we've got 2 live cards left. I think they're personally must complete regardless because they're 76 and 75,000. I would say they're worth it just in case they get the upgrade. If they get the double upgrade or a single upgrade, at least you're paying 76 for a higher rated card already. That's purely from an SBC standpoint. Now, when we look at the rest of them, we have got Alvarez coming in at 430. We've got McCabe still coming in at 144. 507 for Odegaard. Konate at 580. We've got Kelly at 710. 440 for Wan-Bissaka. 116 for Houghton. Sane's 458. 29,000. 74 and 272. So decent prices across the board. I personally say Konate is a must complete. Very good centre back. He's up there. I think if you're looking for someone like a Rio sort of level, like in that sort of range, but a lot cheaper, then that is the card that you're going for. Compared to 2 mil, literally a quarter of the price, I don't see the arguing with that. Now, I was under the assumption that everybody didn't like Alvarez. Now, I kind of put him on a tier list last week, or I put him on somewhere. I think it was like on a team of the season tier list, that he wasn't necessarily the greatest card in the game. And I swear when I did the review to start with, people hated him. I've never seen him in a team. I've never seen him kind of just in champs, in rivals. Then suddenly this week, after Prem's finished, he's everywhere. Everybody loves him. Like I swear the first couple of days, all the comments were Alvarez is absolute mid. Now, I'm not saying he's going to be the level of a 97 Kane or Haaland, but I just didn't see the value in him, to be honest. The obvious price is decent enough, like 450 for an Alvarez, Man City, 92 Prem. It's not terrible. At least you're getting a striker from it. But in terms of the actual card playstyle, I wasn't a fan. Let me know down below if you are. It's still good value, like don't get me wrong. He's a fantastic card for the price that you're paying. But most definitely, he wasn't necessarily a world beater. Like I played with Balotelli yesterday and he was fantastic from the get-go. So I want to know your thoughts there. Odegaard I think is great value as well. We've obviously got Houghton, would be more SBC fodder or anything. For 110k getting a 91. She's not really going to go into the teams. Kelly's one that I'm not too sure about. For 710, she's a very, very good card, but 710 just seems to be a little bit of a stretch. We're looking at the first touch, the whipped pass and the quick step, 4-star, 5-star, incredible stats, but 710 just seems to be so much more than everybody else on the list, which is kind of where I'm basing it from, to be honest. We then have got a few others. Obviously, we've got more of a must complete for someone who's 29,000 coins for a 90. At the minimum, that is perfect. We've got a 70,000 card, which, again, very, very decent in what we can kind of see from him. In terms of the pricing, he's absolutely spot on. He's a 90 rated card as a centre-back, French, so plenty of links. Playstyle pluses include intercept, pinged pass, and slide tackle. Plus, he is mostly lengthy. So, for me, I think that is a big dub of a card. If you go with the shadow, you're looking at 95 pace, 96, 94 overall for a centre-back. Never really going to argue with that card. Wan-Bissaka, I think is decent value. Honestly, he threw me an absolute new one because I did not expect him to get a card at all. I know he had been a team of the season, I want to say community, potentially. I can't remember what he got his team of the season for. I know he had one, but it was for FIFA 21. Oh, and he had 20 as well. Oh, okay, yeah, I suppose the 19 was kind of the start. Was one of them community? I think one of them was community, one of them was Prem. I want to say this was Prem, this was community. And then he's just randomly got a 92, which is a very, very good card nonetheless. 440, I'll absolutely take it. Sane, great value of him. Palacios, I'm not too sure, to be honest. He looks an okay card, but do you know, because you see the rating and you think 92, you see the triple playstyle, you forget everything goes out the window. You forget what the body type's like, what the actual height is. He's 5'10", 4'4", slide tackle, long ball, pinged. Decent playstyle pluses, can play up and down the field as well. Stat-wise, a very good all-round, and he's got an average and lean build. I'm just kind of like hit and miss. I'm like 270 threw me out of the water for him because more than likely he's normally like 150k at a minimum. Then we go McCabe. I think that is going to be my list for today. Let me know down below if you agree, disagree. Who would you put up? Who would you put down? But other than that, make sure you check the videos on screen and I'll catch you for the next one. Peace.